Hi, Dr. Dolly. I'm a pulmonary critical care physician in Illinois, and I have a question for you about I bonds. Like many of us did in 2021 and 2022, my husband, myself, and our trust purchased Series I bonds. At that time, the fixed rate was 0%, and the variable rate was 6 or 9%, with inflation being so high. Now, I believe the fixed rate is around 0.9%, and the variable rates are coming down around 3%. I've heard the recommendation to actually take that money out before the 5-year mark, pay the 3-month interest penalty, and then reinvest it either in a certificate of deposit or high yield savings, as many of those accounts are paying 4 and 5% now, or stock market, et cetera. My question is, in pulling that money out now, we would have to pay income tax on that interest. So is it actually worth it to move that money around, or would it be better just not to mess with it and leave it in place till the 5 years? Thank you so much for your thoughts.
All right. So we're talking about I bonds. I've got some I bonds. We're keeping our I bonds. We're not cashing them out. We're adding more each year. I know it's not as good as it was in 2021. So you're not getting the 9% rate that you were getting. But you have to ask yourself, why do I own these? Did you go into I bonds just because you were looking for something that paid a little bit more on your cash? Is this like your emergency fund? Is this like your cash holding in your portfolio? If so, then yeah, now's probably the time to change. Take it out of the I bonds. You can just put it in a money market fund that's paying 5%, 5.25%, and probably come out ahead this year. But if you look at I bonds as part of your allocation to inflation indexed bonds, TIPS and I bonds, as a long run part of your portfolio, long term, then you may want to just leave that money in the I bonds like we are and add more money to it. You can't go back and put the money back in I bonds. You can only put so much money each year into I bonds. And so if you want to build a substantial portion of them, you've got to keep adding to it and not be taking money out of those I bonds. You just can't put that much money into them each year. And so, it really comes down to how you view that. There's not a wrong answer to this question. You can't cash out during the first year. If you cash out during the first, second through fifth year, you got to lose 3 months of interest, but you still may come out ahead having done that and then moving into something like, a money market fund or some other type of bond fund, whatever, for that money. But I view it as a long-term holding. So we're just sitting tight on it. We recognize that it's not as high of a yield as it was a couple of years ago, and that might go down, it might go up, but it's going to help protect our portfolio from inflation in the long run. So we're just sitting on ours, and I think that's okay.
The hosts of The White Coat Investor are not licensed accountants, attorneys, or financial advisors. This podcast is for your entertainment and information only. It should not be considered professional or personalized financial advice. You should consult the appropriate professional for specific advice relating to your situation.